Hi Deanna, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good. So you had your first ceremony.
I did.
And how was your first ceremony?
It was very intense.
Very intense. Wow. Intense in which way?
Um, Physically, it was just, I don't know, I guess I had a lot to detox out of my system, and so it was just physically pretty exhausting. And I found the experience was fascinating. I saw a lot of lights, like a lot of different colors. I saw love. I saw images of my family, of random kids, of some kind of sort of Halloween themed sort of things that were a bit creepy, which was different. I had a bit of, I've gotten some answers and insights, and so I had a lot of things, but overall, it was very physical.
Very physical. And what benefits did you see from that first journey? Did you see any benefits at all?
Oh yeah. So first of all, I'm eating all the foods that like and I've been feeling good, and that has been a huge leap for me to just have the confidence to eat food and not be stressed about it and have my body be happy about it. And also finally actually understanding where I've been told I had this guilt and seeing it in my life so clearly now, where it was like I was so lost to it and it was just so obvious. Like, how did I not get that?
Wow.
So I mean, those are like some big things, and being able to have tools, like really effective tools of, is it true? Stop, like process what you need to, but just stop it, doesn't belong. I am loved by God. Like, it's just this really, right, remember the actual truth and that grounding.
Wow. So diet, you said that you had and you had a restricted diet. How restricted was your diet?
Very.
And for how long? So because I wanted to see the before and after. So how restrictive was it? For how long?
Okay, well, I should maybe go back and just say I've had sort of digestive issues since I was a kid, and so it's always been a bit of an issue, but I just sort of realized sometimes eating too much wheat or dairy, I would back off a bit because it would cause discomfort. But the last 5 years, things kind of got more intense, and so I ended up doing a variety of different diets. So I was a vegan for a while. I ate only 5 fruits for like a month. I was keto for a while. So this last time, there was help that happened. I cleaned out some bad bacteria that I think was just stuck, and so some of the symptoms lowered, but it was very much like a keto diet plus some extra fruit, I guess. And there were rules, like you eat at this time and you take these supplements and you do it at this time, you drink water at this time. Like, it was very regimented and exhausting.
Wow.
And my family was around me doing normal life, and I was like, and my husband supported me trying to make some food in advance and things to help, but it was hard. And I was doing that recently. The last one, I guess, was about 2.5 months, maybe 3, of going for it. But I started to finally see some relief, so it was worth it. It was just hard.
And when you talk about some relief, in comparison, what are you eating now?
Well, right now we're eating vegetarian food, but I'm eating wheat and pasta. You guys have the delicious cheddar white cheese that I love, and I'm just savoring it. So, having pasta, having bread, having, a tortilla, like cheese, and then all the fruits and vegetables, and not thinking about it. Is it on the plan? Like, it's also just mentally, it's not so exhausting either. I get to eat the food and enjoy it and feel fine, and my body would take, it's so freeing.
Good. Yeah, and you can see it on your voice too. Good. Yes, I remember, and that takes a lot of how do you say, will for you, because I remember coming to you. I remember seeing your diet, and I had a mini heart attack. I'm like, what am I going to feed you? And then I'm like, well, you just had you woke up. I'm like, are you open to just trying and listen to your body? And you were there. You're like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because you saw. I guess you cut the journey. You saw what he was doing, and then you're like, yeah.
Well, and just knowing that my detox was so intensive in my stomach, and I could feel Iboga doing, moving things, afterwards, I'm like, stuff is happening.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I'm here, we're doing it. If, and we'll just take it as it goes. And so I'm Very glad.
Good. Thank you for trusting us, and thank you for for just being completely open. Thank you, and honest.
Thank you.
What was the second thing that you mentioned that he helped you with?
The
Why
guilt.
did I just the guilt? Is it gone?
Yeah, I would say mostly. There's like a little hesitance because I can tell that this is, you know, it's not like it's never going to come up in my life to have the, oh yeah, we don't do this now. Like I realize this is a skill I need to train and continue doing. But yes, it's been hugely helpful.
I remember the tire soldiers.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I had a vision of seeing these men and women that were all in warrior uniforms, and they were trudging through a forest, like exhausted. And I remember when I told you, I burst into tears. I was just like, oh, you know, like recognizing, like, this is what I guess I've been doing. Like with my mind was trying, you know, thinking I'm doing what's right when it was hurting me. You know, not wanting to hurt others and feeling bad if they misinterpreted something versus my intention and knowing my truth and like holding on to the actual truth. So yeah, the exhausted warriors can rest, my mind can rest. It also helped me realize how I was, like I would use songs and things to try and keep positive and want to be in that higher vibration, but it was actually blocking silence. It was blocking messages. It was blocking release. There was a time when I felt sad and I wanted to cry, but I was like, I'm just kind of stuck. And it wasn't until I breathed and we had that chat where I was allowed to let my mind go clear that some tears came out. I don't know what they were, it doesn't matter, because I was allowed to like just go through the feeling and move on.
Good. Did you realize, one of the things that we realized, I think you helped me realize, well, all of you helped me really realize that through this journey, is that if you have any feelings come up, what are they for?
And if you have any feelings come up, oh, just to release them.
You see, now you said so obvious. So obvious. So it's a good thing that they come up. If you have sadness, anger, anything of that, it's just to let them go. Yeah, so that you can, what's the benefit of letting them go?
You can process through them and move on, but you're not holding on to that and living in that place anymore.
And you will be in what kind of
higher
vibration?
vibration, yeah.
You let go of all the low vibration to be in a higher vibration.
A huge thing that has been really great to settle into is that the feeling isn't the problem, it's the story attached to your life that's the problem. And so, you know, having the tears, and it doesn't mean you don't have to process. If something has caused you to be sad, then it's processing through, okay, where am I at? Like, what is my position in this and what's the next right thing? But also acknowledging like, okay, and now I'm going to put on a sad song, or I'm just going to be sad and cry, and then it just stops. Like it just stops and you're done.
Yes.
You're like, okay.
Beautiful. Anything else that you have noticed, physically, emotionally?
I'm just very calm overall. I will say physically I'm still a little bit lower than, you know, like in terms of just, I don't know, I guess it's a calm energy, just to chill. Just content, like nothing's really high or low, just kind of good.
How does it feel to have your mind quiet and you just be?
It feels really amazing, yeah. And something that I still get to catch myself and go, oh yeah, and then you get to just let your mind rest. And to let my mind rest, I didn't recognize that I wasn't letting it. So it could be like, oh, it was tired, it was working hard.
How did it feel for the first time when you realized that you can have the mind as a tool where you can just bring it up to use it when you need it, otherwise just be completely quiet and be absorbing everything else around you?
A very different experience. I mean, I've heard the idea of being present, but and like this idea of a blank mind, but it seemed like too good to be true. Like it wasn't, you know, I didn't know how to get there, but I realized like, oh, I can just focus in on breathing, and then I'm just here, hearing the birds and listening, and there aren't thoughts, which is surprising, you know, for me anyways, because there's always a conversation or a thought, or I'm being entertained, so something's coming in, like there's always something, has been.
Yes. And you mentioned you're getting messages throughout the day in different ways? Could you mention a couple of ways, a couple of messages?
Yeah, so sometimes it happened in conversations. I had one of my questions was if the lead that I had break off in my hand from a pencil was like something I should worry about or not. And oddly enough, John had lead in his hand. And he was like, "It's just graphite, blah blah blah." We had a conversation, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's not an issue." Like that was a very random one, but of all the things, I'm like, lead in my hand, to have that conversation come up. And then otherwise, I had a vision. So I had the warrior vision, but I had I had a conversation during my treatment, like during the ceremony, where I was getting some advice about my son, and I was just given advice to, if I wanted to, maybe if he made a mistake and I was using his name in a harsh way that made him feel bad for something that wasn't his fault, that I could just choose to bite my lip instead. And that was a tip I'd never thought of, and it came from that ceremony, and so it was really powerful and helpful. Like, that's a great tool to make sure that I'm managing my frustration of the situation, but not putting that on a kid who's just curious and had no intention of doing anything bad and doesn't need to be like reprimanded for anything.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Hey, what do you hope to get out of this ceremony now that you have seen a little bit of what Iboga and you can do together when you work together? Because you have to do your part. It's not like a free ride. Like, you have to be willing to be honest. You have to be willing to be open. You have to be willing to be accepting. Mm-hmm. And then, like, you were there 100%. You were not there 50%, 60%. You were there 100%. Mm-hmm. And so what would be nice to see in this ceremony?
I'm excited for just the spiritual awakening, for realizing new truths about just the world, and also releasing any and all negative beliefs, releasing any and all grievances, just really being in that place of love and understanding that connection, and also just allowing myself to see the path to the most abundance and joy for me and my family, so that I can really acknowledge these lies and these negative things and go, right, that doesn't belong here. Like, that's not the truth. It isn't what I need.
That's beautiful. That's exactly where we're going. Exactly where we're going. How about using your voice? Are you being able to use your voice more confidently, happily, openly? Did you notice that change?
I mean, I haven't had the need to very much per se, but I mean...
Well, I remember you were hungry.
I know, I was going to say,
I remember.
I did come out and I was like, I feel hungry. It was exciting because I also, my hunger, system, like when you know you're hungry, has changed over the years. And so for me to feel, I'm like, I feel a bit hungry. This is hunger. This is what that feeling is. And so I did. I was like, I'm getting hungry, everybody. I'd like to get something to eat. So yeah, that was good. And I mean, I've had great conversations. I haven't particularly needed to step up for myself in any way, but yes, like
you speak your mind.
Yeah.
That's really good. You started to play the ukulele.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Exciting. I figured out one chord that I remember, and that's all. So far. That's okay. Just the idea of like thinking of me getting to play and sing together, it was an idea before I came here, and just through the experience, it's been like, yeah, this feels good, and it feels good in me. So I'm like, oh, this is I'm excited for that journey to unfold.
Singing. Have you tried singing?
I did.
And how did it go?
It went well, and apparently it was very loud.
Wow.
Well, I sang some opera, and Christelle was sleeping, but I went outside to do it, not realizing how loud the bounce off the wall was. And she was like, "Did you hear someone singing opera?" And I was like, "Oh, that was me."
How did that feel? Did you notice a difference?
It felt good. I could still feel like, I mean, there's a physical energy that I didn't quite have, like a vitality, right? Like I was still recovering physically, I feel like. But I mean, my voice was strong, it was powerful, it felt good. John came out and heard too, it was nice, and it was just nice to do. I'm like, I say I love doing this, so just go do it. And you were like, go do, if you want to sing, go sing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go sing. I had a bath, doing the things that you love to do. It was just, it was good, and I'm glad I did it. And today I was singing here in my room quietly a little bit too.
Ah, good. Do you have any questions? Because in here I don't remember any questions about your singing. Because you had a little challenge with your singing before.
Yes.
In public. And that's something that we want to address, correct?
Well, I had this dry heaving situation, which had been resolved through some of the diet change right before I had come. So I didn't put it in because I didn't foresee it coming back now that we've completed the digestive healing, I hope. But if you think that that's something we should still address, then I'm happy to.
Yes, we should definitely address it.
Okay.
To find out where did it come from.
Yeah.
To make sure we get to the root of that and make sure it doesn't come back. Or at least you know how to make it come back too.
We're so done. No, I came here to heal completely. I'm so determined. I'm like, this is it.
because that I know that was a big one for you.
Oh yeah,
that's the one we definitely need to get to there, and maybe in the next video we'll get to know where it came from, how we resolved that, and then maybe you can sing for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anything you would like to add?
I think that's everything for now. I'm going to add that question.
Awesome. Thank you.